Okay, guys, let's do this. I think I am on. Hold on one second. Let me put this up here. Oops. Okay, so okay, that's fine. I need this one up here. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I'm a bit. There we go. Okay, I'm early today. I don't know who's up here early. Okay, so lots to talk about today. But the highlight of the show, I think I'll mention it a little bit later on, maybe towards the end or beginning, who knows, right? Hey Michael, what's up? Good morning. I know I'm a bit early today. Hopefully your morning is good so far. I feel like there's a lot to talk about today, so that's why I was like, let me see. Try to hang out here for a little bit. But yeah, have my coffee ready so I don't have to go anywhere for a little bit. Of course, I watched Moran's live. Been kind of like seeing what's going on. I saw earlier that morning, yesterday morning, I heard the news of 99-cent store being closed, and of course, like, kind of suspicious of what's going on there, a 99-cent store. And again, this is like a canary in a coal mine type thing. It's like if you have this type of store going out of business and not making money and all that stuff, that's kind of curious, right? Because people like need this type of store because everything is so expensive. So these type of stores should have been thriving during this time. So why are they going bankrupt, right? So that's what I was gonna try to see what's going on there. I don't even know if they're like a publicly traded company. So that's what I was gonna take a look at. I don't know, let me see. Stock. Good morning, Lynn. Haven't seen you here in a while. Welcome back. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it's a publicly traded company. All right, so. Well, let's get started. I know Bitcoin is going nuts again. Not nuts, but I mean, come on. 0.7%. My thought is that they're gonna try to pump it up. Whenever they need the liquidity to do whatever with GME, right? Everything is related to GME at this point. I think that's why people think that we're in a cult or something. I try, thank you. Okay, good. No, you're good. Like, you don't have to be here all the time, but I appreciate you. So let's see. I'm still of the camp. I haven't like accumulated too much here, but I still have all the altcoins, like I explained before. I still have my XRP. What is this? Not this one. the Loop Rink one, that's related to GameStop. What's the other one too? XLM, I still have that one. So just a few altcoin here that I've been holding for a while. I haven't added more, so I'm still waiting for the SEC and all that stuff, and of course like the lawsuit between XRP and the SEC is still going on. Of course they're dragging their feet and not really wanting to make any decision either way. So when that decision is being made, it's going to be a lot easier for anyone who wants to do any business related to Web3, blockchain, and all that stuff is going to jump in. And I'm sure GME is kind of is waiting for that decision as well, to see, okay, what is the security, what is the legitimate way for people to actually use this technology, to do business with. And again, like we're in a good spot here as far as like GME goes, and the future is so bright that people don't really see it yet, because again, it's a slow moving thing that people don't realize how many years have Bitcoin been around for Bitcoin to be in this position here, right? So it takes a lot of convincing, a lot of diligent, a lot of patience to get to this point. And people who are holding Bitcoin, holding any security, holding any crypto, got to reap the benefit long after it's being popular. So that's why this is what I'm trying to look for, right? I'm not saying that GME is the next Bitcoin here. I'm just saying the value is going to be multiple than it is today. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so like if you hold long enough, like I remember AMD. I had AMD when it was like $10, but I sold it way too quickly because I didn't do the research. I didn't do the due diligence that I need to do on AMD to know. But again, like even if I hold AMD, I probably would have sold at $50, right? Let's see. Look at hold on, let me see. My point is that you never know, you can't guess on the value of anything until it's being blown up already. And so when people come out here and tell me certain things, I'm like, I have questions, AMD. Okay. Right here. Yeah, I remember. So 2017, that's when I first got into the stock market. 2000, right here. Around 17 or so, I saw AMD around this price point right there, right? And I remember $10. That's what I remember. And I got a couple shares there, maybe 10 shares, because I had $100 or something like that. That's usually my contribution to the market at the time, because I did have a job then that paid a little bit more than I used to got paid. Remember, I started in the stock market around this time right here, like around that time, like 17. And at the time, I only have like $7 a week, right? $7 a week, literally. And so, but anyway, so at that time, I did have some, kind of lump sum that I saved. And I remember putting in like maybe $500 into Robinhood. And that's when I got started. But my point is that, again, like I would not have had the patience to see. And at the time, I was learning in the beginning of, investing career here, that that when I have like a little bit of a gain, I would sell, like kind of like a mentality of a trader type thing, right? That hey, this is like if I bought it at 10 and saw it at 30, I would have sold it, right? And that's what happened to me. It said, I bought it at 10 and it went up to like 12 and it was like, oh, okay, I made it, right? And it just sold out. And of course I forgot about it. I said, oh, I'll buy it later. And it never come down to 10 again, right? Ever since then, due to the circumstances, obviously, I didn't do the research that I needed to do in order to, have the ability to hold it, or the foresight to be like, hey, this is a valuable thing to hold for a long term and all that stuff. Had I held, I probably, I would have 10x it, in a short period of time. Of course, it's come crashing down over here. That would have been an emotional roller coaster for me. But at the time, again, I was learning, I was doing, my own thing and all that stuff. So those are more valuable lesson as well, is to, okay, let's learn how to trade. Let's learn how to do all those things so that I get it out of my system, and boom, right? So now I'm more, hey Lena, what's up? I'm more kind of mature in the way that I invest, and this is why, hey, I was like, hey, let me share my thoughts here. And then AMC happened, and then GME happened, and then you learn more. I get to learn more about the stock market in general. But anyway, so I have a couple more people here. So let's talk about what is going on here. I know my title. Well, let's get it. Let's talk about Jimmy a little bit here, okay? So we have a credit card now. I mean, how do you guys feel about that? I feel like this is a value created thing, right? I know like AMC people are going to be like, oh, Jimmy's going to copy Adam Aaron playbook and all that stuff. Like BS. Like, what? I think that this is a good thing, right? Now, 4% cash back, that's not something to scoff at. So I am considering opening up GME credit card because I'm looking to upgrade my computer at some point. When I have the money to, obviously. And this is going to be a good thing. If you look at a no annual fee, that's pretty good. I wonder if hold on, let me see. So if you look at I don't know if you need to be a pro member to get that credit card. So 3 years of GME Pro, okay, within 90 day account is open. Okay, that's not really clear to me. Like, do you need to be a pro member to do that? But if you shop at Gamestop at all the time, this would be a value created thing, right? For people to jump in. And this is, oh my God, this is what branding is all about, right? You're building a brand loyalty to the brand. Like, you want to shop in Apple and, Microsoft and, every product out there, they have a brand loyalty and all that stuff. So any new income stream is a positive in my book. Yes, of course. I mean, this is more than a new income stream. I think it's more like building a brand that people could trust, right? And this is what Brian Cohen is good at, is to create value for shoppers, right? And this is value added. Yes, it's building upon credit here, but I think we have the cash to do this, right? To be able to kind of provide these services for people. And with credit, you kind of encouraging people to buy now and pay later type thing, right? And within this culture, obviously, this is kind of the problem that we have in society. And so why not exploit that? In my opinion, not try to make GME a terrible company or anything like that, but this is what value is, right, in today's society. But yeah, this is a good thing. I'm considering kind of opening it up to, I mean, 4% cash back. I usually don't, have a habit of kind of buy anything that I can't afford, and so I usually, take advantage of the cash back, right? I would buy it and then pay it off right away, and then got the 4% or whatever. Currently, I have like a credit card from a bank that give me 1.5%. So this one is going to be a lot better if I'm going to buy anything from GameStop, which is, of course, I'm going to shop at GameStop from now on. With the headsets or anything like that. So since I haven't been needing anything electronic, I haven't kind of shopped anywhere. But since I have not need to upgrade my system yet, I haven't kind of make the purchase anything from GameStop yet. I was gonna get a mouse, the keyboard and all that stuff. That looks cool. So they have those products as well if you're looking at it. But yeah, so this is like the small little things that the company is doing that nobody wants to talk about, right? And they want to say that this company is dead and all that stuff. Like, again, like, how can you say that when you're not even like taking a look at the small little tiny things that the company is doing? But those small little tiny things add up to a lot of things, right? So these GameStop logo or GameStop brand stuff, and Candy Con right here, right? The trademark that you could switch out of your controller. These are buttons that you could, again, customize your own controller or whatever, or buttons or keyboards, right? Whatever you need to be. And this is another brand loyalty, type of novelty things that people might like to do, at some point. See, this is, you could switch out your own keyboard. Yes, and then you get to customize your keyboard without having to buy new things. Just, yeah. I mean, this is a great idea. People need to chill, man. People need to chill. But, that's cool. I like that. I like that idea. And nobody really thought about it this way. But again, this is because it's so new to people. They think that this is, who cares about this? Well, I mean, someone cares. Someone cares. Right? But anyway. Okay. So let's get off of that. Obviously, this is a good step ahead. Let's see. So 99-cent store went out of business. Now, Moran said it was like related to kind of private equity. I don't know. I have not do any research on that yet. But the angle that I kind of got from that is because of the economy, right? I bet you anything if the store, or they're trying to make a statement on the $20 minimum wage increase in California here. That could be the problem as well. But again, these type of stores should have been able to withstand what is happening, in the economy right now. But they should be hand over fist, making money, because it's a store that provide a very needed company, provide services or goods and services that is needed for the community that couldn't afford, right? The expensive stuff in regular grocery stores. So my take on that is that, of course, the private equity angle of it, and the fact that the economy is not doing as well as these people are kind of or were sold by the media that, oh, it's not the economy, it's you if you couldn't make the money that you needed to survive and all that stuff, right? So it's all political things, and also too, the another angle that I kind of get from that, kind of related to GameStop, is they're gonna use this thing, this sentiment about retail's going under, retail is going to experience this apocalyptic, demise, right? Every retail store is going to suffer, right? Including GameStop. And that's going to be the point to make people panicking, selling GameStop shares. And, again, like for people who knows the value of GameStop, when you see the value GameStop coming down, you feel happy, right? And so if you look at the XRT, I'm not sure, XRT holding. So this is like an ETF for retail, right? And so these ETF is notorious for being shorted like to oblivion, right? What the hell is this? And if you look at the short interest for that one, it's probably like really high. Now, Fintel, they don't tell you. So total, long, short 8. That's big institution right there. So yeah, my point is that they're gonna try to short everything, everything that has to do with retail, and so I bet you anything this is what they were preparing for. Whoever they are, right, that are betting against the whole retail sector here, and so that's including all of the institutions out there as well, not just the handful ones that we're talking about here, in the private equity sector. So the cautious, it's just to cautious people off of being scared or anything like that. But these type of thing is going to panic people, right? And the SPY has been doing some gymnastic itself, right? Back on Thursday, we saw a kind of dump like this where it's a bearish engulfing candle type thing. So that's usually a very bearish, standpoint. But of course, like anything could happen. You see, like the next day it went up again because of the job reports. I guess the job came out and it was like 300,000 jobs being created, but it's not really a full-time job, right? And then if you look at the on-balance volume, you see like any time when you close at a red, you could have seen this type of thing. On GME, it's different, right? But again, this is a highly liquid market here. Everybody is trading the SPY, so the volume is a lot higher, than most. Like if you look at every single day right here, like 50 million shares being traded, 70, and all that stuff. So it's tens of millions of shares being traded every day. And if you look at the price point as well, so this is why like the big guys usually, stays in here to trade in and out at will. And of course they know the inside information, when to get out, when to get in. It's nothing news here, right? Fancy information, quote unquote. And so this is why you can't trade and try to win them in that sense. The only way that you could win is to pick a stock that, number one, you believe in. Number two, you think that it's going to beat the expectation of everybody, right? Number two, hey, in the sector that might give some growth here in the future. But yeah, I mean, people disagree with us when it comes to GameStop, and so this is why, hey, it's a good segue to get into the next topic. I know I'm just I'm jumping in and out of topic here, but let's stay with SPY a little bit here. So the comment consensus is that if the SPY break up to this point or break down, right? Of course, again, this is just a basic my basic understanding of trading here, right? If you want to trade this, of course, there's a many indicator that you could look into, and many other people out there that you want to do to learn how to trade, right? And of course, like, people like to say that they could time the market just right. Oh, I sold at this point. Oh, I buy it at the right point. It's like, no, you can't always do that, and that's the whole point. If all of those people could do that, they would have been a billionaire by now, because nobody could do that, could predict the future of anything, right? But they could learn to hedge or whatever, and that's why they call it a hedge fund, right? But technically, it's like, again, they use the computer to do that for them, and the computer could make mistake too. And I feel like this is the reason why GME went shorted so much, because it was just algorithm. And on top of that, they know that, GameStop is never going to see the light of day, because they planted people in there already, right? And that's the fancy information that these people got more than the public. The public didn't know that ahead of time, right? And so the egregious amount of shares being created back then was due to, of course, like algorithm kind of turn on. Nobody's supervising it, right? No human eye saw that. I bet you anything, if this human eye saw that it was shorted, 20% more, I bet they probably would have turned it off for temporarily, right? And the problem would not have been got out of hand, but the cat is out of the bag now, right? People know what's going on, and we're all here. But anyway, let's go back. So if it dropped down to this level right here, people are gonna panic and sell out of SPY. So when that panic ensue, and I've always had this belief here too, is that GameStop's gonna come down with it as well. So just be prepared, for the worst, the worst price that you could ever see GameStop to be. Now, worse for them, traders. It's good for us, like investor, right? So you have to distinguish yourself from that. If you want to invest in this company, just know that the price is totally psychological. And of course, like, if you look at the OBV, right? I pointed this out before. People would love for you to believe that people are selling. But look at this. So the volume right here doesn't even exceed the buying volume over here, right? And it's very common to see. So if people were actually selling, you would have seen this moving somewhat close to that, right? But again, even with this tick right here, that's millions of shares right there. Right? So if you look at it's like 5.92 billion, and then down here 5.91 7, right? So that's like 3 million shares right there. The difference of 3 million shares. In terms of volume anyway. So, but yeah, this is indicative of people are not, the people are holding. When they buy pretty crazy, right? Right there, up there. But when they sell to the point where it was right here. But the selling pressures never exceed the price point ever, right? So you could say that is a diversion, right? If it bounces off of that, it's going higher, right? My opinion. All right, so that's that. I'm fully prepared to see GameStop at this price point and GameStop at I don't know why I got that 833 there. Oh, I think I wanted to kind of see the historical price action over here, when it touches that level. So that level is also a good level to look at too, right? If you want to trade this. Yeah, so it touches that level for a long time. Now, as an investor myself, I'm looking for this price point to buy into, right? That's what I've learned. Hey, when the stock comes down, it's actually a good thing for me, I mean, I imagine myself in this situation here, right? AMD, right? I would have been, if I had the knowledge that I had, I would have buy AMD over here, right? And hold it. Hold my original position, buy more over here, right? When people are panicking. Because inevitably, if the company is doing better, like doing these little tiny things to improve little by little, right? Whatever, the brand recognition, building it brick by brick type thing, it's bound to, the price actions are going to translate to the stock. When people are less likely to say, oh, GameStop is shitty, oh, GameStop is a cult, oh, GameStop is Brian Cohen is a failure, whatever. People are going to forget about it. And eventually people are going to be like, oh, what? 10 years later, people are like, what? How did GME make $5 billion last quarter in cash? Like, I'm just dreaming here, okay? I don't know if it's going to be 5 billions, but 500 million is something, right? How about $1 billion, adding more cash into the bank, buying more marketable security, all of those stuff, slowly, of course, right? And, you see evidence of this too. Like people, again, I don't understand why people do this. Well, I kind of do, but of course, the negative sentiment is a lot stronger right now when it comes to like sell decline, right? Those are a gut-punching sentiment about this company. And that's why they only focus on that. They only focus on the price action and the sales revenue is down, right? So those are the two gut-punching things that they want you to experience, right? But if you look at the improvement of everything else, like we've never used to have this before Ryan Cohen. And he's building it slowly, from 3 million, 10 million, 20. And this is a yearly thing. Sorry, trailing 12, right? We used to pay interest on the debt that we had. Now we get income from the cash that we built. So you understand that? This is a snowball effect, okay? From 3 million to now $50 million. Do you understand that? What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarters. 6 quarter, we 10x'd our interest income. How is that not a good thing? And people are like, oh, they don't make money by selling stuff. They will eventually, right? So, oh, you're in a cult. I'm like, really? Are you not seeing? I mean, the number that I'm seeing, again, like this is again the mentality of a saver, right? I'm saving. I'm naturally good at saving money, right? And I know this is gonna add up to a lot of things, right? So let me play something here, kind of along, and I'll address the comment that I got on my video later on. If you're watching, I will address your comment in a bit here. Hold on, let me play. Oh, actually, it's the other one here. All right, so this guy, I've shown this guy before, and he's pretty knowledgeable about trading and all that stuff, right? Okay, so let's learn from him a little bit, and yeah, let's do a normal speed. Sure, why not?
Because when things are all like dandy and everything is good, that's actually the perfect time for you to be more cautious, because oftentimes the market does unexpected things. In fact, when I was working at Goldman Sachs, one of the most popular things, or one of the things that really blew me back, was this financial advisor who was managing like $1 billion. He said the point of the market is to make the most amount of people feel stupid. Literally, the point of the market is to prove the most amount of people wrong, okay? So if you want to be successful, you cannot really look at what is happening out there in the market. For example,
what is the prevailing sentiment about GME right now? What is the most amount of people thinking right now? Right? The most amount of people are thinking that GME is trash, okay? So what is that? That is prevailing thoughts of the majority of people right now. And to me, this is an opportunity, because people don't understand what this company is doing. In my opinion, this is the best opportunity, right? I mean, come on, like contrarian to whatever people are thinking. But again, like, it's so slow that people are like, it's trash. Look, price is not doing anything. But anyway, so listen more.
Example, you can't be copying the most popular trends. You actually need to spot early trends before they are popular. That's why I always say, looking at YouTube for stock advice and basically looking at whatever is hype, like we see what's hype, right? You see those stocks being covered all the time. Those hype stocks are the exact stocks that are likely to pull back, and they're really likely to experience a lot of panic selling. You never want to invest in a business that you don't personally understand. That's why I tell everyone, you want to keep investing very simple. For me, I've grown a portfolio that's pretty large, right, at a pretty young age, and that's because I've stuck to very simple things. Yes, I've invested in things like Tesla, but I've done my research on Tesla back in the day, and recently it's been pulling back a lot, and I've shifted my attention to Apple and Google.
Hold on. So before that, he invested in Tesla. You know why? Because he did a research on it. Tesla was at the time, I bet you anything, when he did the research on it, he invested in it. He put a lot of money into it. That's why he was able to build a portfolio of millions of dollars here. Because again, he had the money to, I bet you anything, if you look at his portfolio, he probably buy into Tesla ever so often, right? Just shipping it at it because he was believing it in the long term. And now when it's pulling back, meaning it's done its thing that he, whatever the price target he was thinking at the time, he probably take a lot of profit off of that. And so having the experience that he have trading, he'd probably be like, okay, let me sell at $1,000 a share, or let me sell at whatever the price target is right now. And I'm sure if he were to be the early investor of Tesla, he'd probably gone through a lot of splits, splits, and all the splits that happen in Tesla, and it was able to reap the benefit multiple times over, right? And that's what I'm trying to do with GME, and I think GME is the one, right? My opinion, obviously, but hey, learn from your own mistake. Like, if you think that this is trash and you're not touching it, okay, make sure that that's your own conviction and not somebody else telling you not to touch it, right? So
that's because I think brands and companies that have a strong brand are going to continue to do well. The biggest secret in investing that isn't covered on YouTube is the little things. For example, margin expansion. You may not even know what that is. Margin expansion is basically when you look at the profit margin of a company. Is it going up? Because oftentimes, for example, I used to be an analyst for software and I was looking at Activision Blizzard, which is a company that is part of esports, they have video games, and I was taking a look, and basically because they had some software apps that had really high profit margin and that part of the business was growing, which in business school we talk about profit pools. When there's a company that has a small division that is growing very rapidly with high profit margin, that's actually a very good thing for the overall company. Now, obviously it's a good thing for the overall company, but why? It's because when the company actually reports earnings, the profit margin, say, for Amazon, it's like 3.5% profit margin. So if it goes from 3.5% to 3.6%, that 0.1 change, I promise you, is worth tens of percentages, right? So that stock will go up 10, 20, 30% potentially if they can just change the profit margin. Because when profit margin changes today, investors understand that that is going to be different for the forever future.
Did you hear that? And so what did GME able to achieve? It's like, I don't understand how people, again, this is the little thing that people don't want you to believe or think about, right? They want you to think about this massive thing that has happening, right? No. This massive thing that happening is due to us fixing the balance sheets, right? Fixing the mistake that happened years prior to that, right? And we're still coming at it at a rate in which like it would makes other people head spin, right? To me, this is a very short period of time that this is a miracle in my opinion, right? Of course, right? I never run a multi-billion dollars company before, but I always heard about how this thing's gonna take time and all that stuff, right, for other company. But for some reason, this is like too much for people to bear, right? It's like, oh my God, 3 years already and it's done nothing. Really? Is this your sentiment about like investing in general? It's like 3 years, that's all you need. Like, really? Can you finish high school in 3 years? Like, anyone, please? Open your eyes to that. But anyway, back to profit margin. Like the guy was saying, now again, if you believe, if you think the guy is intelligent or whatever, I really feel like this is what he was saying about, profit margin expansion thing. GameStop is going to find those high profit margin item eventually, right? Right now, they're doing something that people are not thinking about, like thinking outside the box or whatever, right? With the Candy Con thing, Candy Con, candy controller, meaning that you could do what you wish to do, eye candy, right? That's a good concept to kind of like make it happen for the next future of generation who wants their controller to be candy, right? Eye candy, right? I mean, come on, this is a good thing. It's a customizable thing that you could do for your enjoyment, right? I know it's kind of like frivolous in my opinion. I wouldn't care if my keyboard looks like this or not, but there are people who likes that stuff, right? Who could who wants to make their space the way that they want it to look like. And now you could do it on your keyboard, you could do it on your controller, you could do it on whatever, right? And so to me, this is going to be a high profit margin, and it's brand building, loyalty type thing too. The fact that we have credit card now, it's gonna encourage people to buy now, pay later type of thing, right? But let's look at the profit margin here. Just like the guy was saying, like even the 0.1%, people scoff at 0.1% increase like it's nothing. Like this is hundreds of millions of dollars in the forever future, okay? If the company is able to find way to increase the profit margin to this point, it's a forever, okay, endeavor here, right? Assuming that there's no more pandemic coming, there's no more war coming, right? Whatever challenges that this company have to face, it's gonna face. And again, while people are closing doors left and right, GameStop is not closing as much anymore, right? Yes, we had to close some stores, lots of stores, in order to get to this point, but we did that 3 years ago, slowly, when people were expanding like crazy, when people were like, oh my God, I make $1 billion, so let's buy more movie theater. Okay, all right. When people were expanding like crazy, and now they're at the end of other thing, in another side of things, so now they can't survive. So they have to file for bankruptcy. You see what I mean? But anyway. Hi, Manuel. I think buying GME at single digit would be a good speculative. Yes, look, if you want to wait until it's single digit, go ahead, I'm not knocking that, sure. Like, if you think it's going to go single digit, kudos to you. I don't want to wait because, to me, again, if I forget about it or whatever, right? But of course, who would have thunk that GME is going to come down to this point? Like, I've never thought that GME would be under $20 because Ryan Cohen got in $20, right? But hey, if Ryan Cohen got in $22 and all that stuff, he hadn't sell his shares yet, so that means I bought it anything under 22 or anything below that is a bargain for me, right? And of course, yes, I do, write call options and all that stuff, but that's again more speculative, like kind of a lottery ticket type of deal. And of course, like, those are very small account that I have, but I could afford to lose that account if and it's not gonna do anything to my life right now, right? Because I live a very kind of frugal life here, but I do take some risk, right? Because scared money don't make money type thing. But also too, with the experience that I have investing in crypto and all that stuff, really prepared me for this, right? And I'm not going to miss out on GME, like, not anymore. In 5, 6, 7, 10 years from now, I'm going to reap the benefit of this company growing the way that it is. And I really think that Ryan Cohen and the leadership could do this. Again, they just need to kind of weather this storm right now at the moment. People are going through it. We're floating. We're staying afloat above water, right? We're not, trying to do anything fancy. We're not trying to swim against the current here. We're just floating, okay? Make the analogy of, like, the Titanic went down, but we're floating. We're rose over here, okay? We have people to protect us, right? Like Jack, right? Jack to protect us, and make sure that we're gonna be surviving in this environment. So, just so you know, Rose, if you follow the story, she was able to survive 100 years old, right? Yeah, 105, maybe, I don't know. I forgot the movie, the line of the movie. But you know what I mean. So this company is gonna survive the long term. And you can't go wrong with this type of leadership that really is amazing to me anyway, right? If they could, turn this ship around to the point where 6 quarters ago we were losing 8%, okay? 8% profit margin. That's hundreds of millions of dollars the other way, okay? And again, this is them paying off debt, right? Using that that money that they make to pay off debt. Okay. When you say cash burn, it's not really cash burn. It's almost like you're putting a massive, it's like paying off mortgage. Like if you have no payments to your house, the place of that you need to live, right? That's the most expenses that you have. Then you're ahead of the game already. Even though that year you're gonna show a loss, right? That's one there. Well, of course, like we spend money on the NFT marketplace, which people think it's a failure and all that stuff. I still think that they're waiting on the regulation to clear up, right? Whatever that regulation is going to be, again, they're dragging their feet right now to determine whatever is security or not, right? And I'm sure they're trying to get those people that are well connected, inside of the industry first before they let the public or whoever wants to take advantage of the blockchain technology to reap the benefit as well. And so it sucks because you're not inside that group. You're not, it's a big club and you're not in it type thing, right? Until people realizing, all of that stuff and supporting companies that is trying to do a good thing here, right? At least, keep some company that is in America, right? Because like, hey, every company out there that you see is being gutted. And that's why you see the richest country in the world, you still have homeless people left and right living under the bridge. And that's not through, I know like some people make some terrible choices here, but most of them, I bet you anything, it's due to medical debt, mental disability type thing, not having family member that care enough about you to take you in when you need a shelter, right? But yeah, I mean, everybody deserves a second chance here, in my opinion, right? And so the fact that this leadership saw Jimmy here, and again, this is why I'm in here. It's like it's a story that I like for people to succeed in, right? It's a second chance type of story here with a CEO that that is trying to do something different than we've ever seen before. That's very attractive to me. Like people who have the platform to do good and they choose to do good, in my opinion, that's good. That's what I'm here for. But anyway, so let me address, I feel like I already addressed that just by talking about Jimmy. Hold on, so I saw a comment. I don't know if you guys know any of these people, but I have not seen these people. Not these people. Hold on, let me see. Close this down. There's no whatever this is icon on this particular one. So I read that comment and now I'll address it in a minute, and my response is this one. But anyway, you guys could probably go and look at it. But anyway, so let me address his comment right here. So he says, or she, I don't know if, sorry about that if I misgendered you. But, so overvalued trash stock, okay, reflected by the share price. Okay, so pretty much, I think I addressed that already. Again, share price, it's psychological. Currently, I don't know why people evaluate this company at $11. In my opinion, in the future, it's going to be worth more than that, right? Manuel here thinks it's going to be single digit. Okay, let it happen. It's okay. I'll buy it at a single digit. I'll buy it at whatever price. I think anything under 22 is a good price point for me to get into. And so, yeah, wait until you see $4. Wait until you see $3. Wait until you see, I don't know, 125. I even have people come in here and say that. GME is trash, right? Okay. Again, focusing on the price point. You seem relatively smart. I don't know, I don't get why you go to a cult, okay, again, cult price point. It's, again, this is the same sentiment that we have to deal with in GME, you know, investor, people who actually believe in the company, right? What is so cultist about trying to make a business more successful than it used to be? I mean, what? What is this? It's like, really? You think Ryan Cohen care about being a cult leader? It's like, no, he's doing what he's doing best right now, which is, you know, building a company. He built Chewy from the ground up, okay? He's trying to build GameStop from the ground up right now. Okay? Okay. So, cult, no. You don't have to, you know, like sworn in to like Ryan Cohen in order to invest in this company or see the value of this company. Yes, I like the leadership. I like the way that the direction of the leadership is doing, right? Because again, it's something that has never done before in corporate America, to where the executive doesn't leech off of the backs of people who are actually building the company, which is working class, whatever, right? Sony and Apple. You don't have these executives who are just leeching off of that just because they, you know, sit their ass on the board of director, having some sort of connection, you know, and doing nothing for the company. Like, ask what you could do for the company, not what the company could do for you, type thing. Right? I mean, come on, that's a good saying there. But hey, if you think that's a cultist thing to do, I'm like, what? Come on. And again, the fact that he's not taking any salary too, to me, that's sexy. That's very sexy. But again, I mean, you know, hey, do you do you. Is it because it has a community? No, not that. Because of leadership, you know. And yes, community too. It has everything for it, right? You know, like, yes, invest with a group of people, like-minded people, is going to kind of carry you through the hard times, like hard times as in price point is not going to do whatever you wanted to do, right? But if you see a discount, let's say you go to the shop, right? You go, you know, like your favorite department store, and you've always wanted to buy a rainy jacket or whatever jacket that you know, it's like, oh, and then you see a 50% off. You'll be like, oh my God, I'm not going to buy this jacket. Look, it's 50% off. I'm like, it used to be $100, now it's 50? Ah, that's trash. I mean, can you imagine that mindset? You would buy that jacket with glee in your face, you know, because it's valuable to you, because it used to be what? 100. Now you get to save money and buy 2 of them if you want to. You see what I mean? But again, the mentality of these people coming in here talking about the price point as if it's like something like, no, that's not depressing to me. You know what depressing to me? If GME going to $100 and I only get to buy 1 shares instead of 10. That would have been depressing to me. But now that it's possibly, like Manuel said, could go to a single digit, you think I'm going to be banking my head and, like, you know, having a panic attack here? It's like, really? That's not investing to me, right? Again, investing, like you said right here, investing is meant to be a lonely game. Okay. Right now, GME is being lonely right now, right? Like lonely in the grand scheme of things here, okay? The media is out there thinking that it's trash, including you, whoever wrote this So what is that? Like, is that a pervasive sentiment that you're seeing? Like, if this is not a pervasive sentiment, the price point would not be the way that it is right now. Do you understand that? Never mind the manipulation thing, that is happening too. But if it's popular, you would have seen the price a lot higher than this, right? Right now it's unpopular. So yes, it's a lonely game to be in, GME, right now, in the bullish case. That to me is more an opportunity than anything, because the company is doing better, right? And so long as the company is doing the opposite of what the price is telling you, hey, I don't know what you're seeing there. If you think it's trash because the price, then it's on you. Like, I don't understand that either, not quite sure how long this person has been in the market for. And it seems like when they use this type of term, I bet you anything they've been in the market pretty long. Like, but again, you and I have two different opinion on one stock, right? Just like how people used to have different opinion on Tesla, on Apple, because Apple used to be a penny stock, right? At one point in Apple history. And so, Apple used to close to be filing for bankruptcy in its recent past, I think, right? Apple used to go through this leadership turmoil. Not Tim Cook. Steve Jobs was ousted, right? Was voted out to be. But anyway, you have to understand the history of all of those big companies out there to know what is happening. But again, throughout all of that, somebody sees the value in Apple, and they keep investing in it. They keep shopping in it, right? They keep, but again, gaining more market share over time. And so, and that's due to leadership too. I'm sure people invest in Apple because they believe in, not Tim Cook, sorry. Believe in Steve Jobs. Because he's the visionary, right? Right? Come on. It's like leadership is important too. So, echo chamber, really? Come on. No. Come and disagree with me on the chat. I have Manuel here who's disagree with me. I have Michael who will agree with me, right? Lynn, I'm sure Lynn is agreeing with me too, right? Lionel agree with me. And so, I'm not here for an echo chamber either. But if there are things that I like that people are saying good things about this company, great. And I also love the fact that people would like to challenge this company too. So that means I'm, well-rounded. It's like I'm not trying to be in a cult here, But hey, to each his own, right? I asked you to check out whatever this is. I'm sure it's a company. I think I'll look at it in a minute. I have the tab open. But anyway, so I don't know, like, you haven't asked me to do anything. Like, this is the first time you've ever wrote on my comments, so I'll take a look at it. You couldn't be bothered. Meanwhile, they smash earnings as I predicted. Okay, who's predicting what? Again, like, never know you to exist except for this comment right here. Okay, 50 million earnings forecast this year. Okay, this year. Earnings forecast though. That means like future earnings, right? Value at $140 million market cap, which is massive, okay? 30% plus of market cap backed by earning, okay? As retail stock like GME. Okay, so let's take a look at that. And it was like GME barely made that after what's it? Optimising? Am I saying this right? Cost cutting and is valued at a crazy, okay, $3.5 billion. Okay. They have 1.2 billion cash to back this up. It's like, what? You're bullish. Cash, okay, for GME is that they are no longer burning cash. Okay, mind you, growth is non-existent, and okay, good point there. I don't agree with growth. Okay, I agree with this one, but there's a reason for it. It's okay. Sorry, but that's not good enough. Okay, so let's take a look at the company that you're promoting right here. This is the company that you're promoting. Okay, so yeah, a market cap of this, a market cap of that. Okay, revenue is there. But what is this? Huh? Huh? What is this? Is this a negative or a positive? So you're telling me to buy into a company that over the last 12 months they lost money while GME makes money. Yes, little tiny money, but it's okay. It's coming. So $29 million lost. Now, I don't know if this is the most recent earnings or anything like that, so I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt here. Perhaps they have a better earnings coming over here, but it hasn't been updated yet. So, I don't know. But, let's look at the stat together here, right? Compare apple to oranges over here. Apple to oranges. No, this is a retail store. Of course, I never heard about this company before. Sportsman Warehouse Holding. Okay, so subsidiary, kayaks and all that stuff. Okay, so they're outdoorsy type of company. Okay, retail, specialty, So they sell different things, different accessory and all that stuff. Doesn't matter what they sell. If they're making profit, they're making profit. So kudos to them if they do, but currently I don't see the profit yet. But let's look at it further. Of course, you have to take into account who's running the show. So, again, leadership is important. Not quite sure if you do the connect the dot. I bet you anything you find something. Now, I'm not saying it either way because I have not looked at this company in depth. But just stats, stats on stat. Okay, so right off the bat, the analysts out there want you to hold. Some of them a lot of buys. The price target is 11, and all that stuff. So there are a variety of people. 5 analysts at that. All right, so at least they have 5 analysts and not 1, right? Strong buy from Eric, whoever this is, right? Okay. People have good sentiment over here. All right, not knocking that. But let's look at the stat. Enterprise right off the bat, more than market cap. Is that good or bad? I don't know. Not either way. Look at this. Institutional ownership, much more. So institution own a lot of this company. What do you think is going to happen? They want to sell it to you at a high price, right? My logic anyway, because they're not going to, lose on this deal. So if they already accumulated this company to whatever price it is right now, that means they're already oversaturated. I encourage you to look into Peter Lynch on the best stock to buy. And he's discouraged people to pick stocks that have, institutional ownership to the tune of, this much percentage already, right? Again, I look into, other famous investor out there. That's why I always bring Peter Lynch, Warren Buffett up because, hey, they're shown to be success in their stock picking ability or company picking ability. So you learn from that. But what I learned from Peter Lynch is that you want to avoid, or at least avoid, companies that you want to pick into. And if you want to spot an early trend, you might want to kind of, but again, like people could have an opposite point of view where if there's institutional ownership, that's a good thing because that means, it has highly educated people, quote unquote, analyzing this company already. But I think the opposite, right? But again, hey, find your edge in the market, whatever that edge is, hone on it. Make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into. Okay, price to book. What is this? So the market cap is more than shareholder equity. Shocker. Operating costs, obviously, or operating income coming down. Net income is negative $29 million. Look at this. They can't even make enough to pay the interest coverage. Oh, look at this. Oh, what is this, sir? Or ma'am, or whatever. You're telling me to buy into this company? And look at this. Again, this is not an end-all be-all. It's just one indicator. But what does it say? Right here. So A Almond Z score under 3 suggests an increase in risk of bankruptcy. Okay? And it's not, again, it's one of those things that you have to, I get it, the price is going to do what it does, because again, they're trying to pump it to you so that you hold the bag here. Whoever you are, whoever they are, which is the institution, who I bet you anything have relation to the analysts out there. Okay? They get paid to give you this analysis. Okay? And they stand to benefit from it. It's a revolving door relationship here, okay? So if they give you a good rating on whatever they're holding, that's more like a relationship of like, remember the mortgage-backed security, the whole AGI thing, that whole scam that happens in the subprime mortgage loan type of deal? It's like, goodness, like if you don't understand these type of relationship, you're gonna pick the wrong stock. Well, in my opinion anyway. So I could be wrong about GameStop, sure, but hey, that's my prerogative. At the very least, it's my decision, right? It's not some sort of like somebody bringing me into GameStop without me looking into it myself, But anyway, so. And this is why I don't jump into stocks that people are telling me about without looking into this, right? But again, like if you're traders, you could trade this. I bet you anything, if you look at the trading view, you probably could see lots of price entries and, see all of this shenanigans that's happening. Okay. You see this, like, this is an unbalanced volume for these type of stock that are actually doing natural things, right? You see, like, the volume, it's not, what is it called? There's a term for it now, I'm blanking on it. So this is a daily candle, or daily candle, daily candle, sure. Daily price action, right? Daily, right there. 1 day. And you see, you kind of could trace, okay, this is people are dumping, right? Okay, here, price drop, on balance volume drop as well, right? Kind of follow that path. But if you look at GameStop, it's different. I encourage you to do that. But anyway, so let's look at this company. What is it doing right now? I mean, what? What is this? Why is it doing a gap up like a stupid gap and then gap down like a stupid gap? Like, is that indicative of a private equity, perhaps, right? They're just pumping and dumping it to you. Okay, so right now they're ready to go the other way, but they're beating expectation, so they lose less than the expectation was, and for some reason they go up in price, right? Have you seen the chart for GME lately? They beat expectation 4 times, and what's happening? Look, beat expectation, big expectation, big expectation, big expectation, right? Right there, you know? But yet the price coming down. What gives? What gives, right? But again, it's a company that I hope you know a lot about before you put money into it. I wouldn't, in my opinion. If you want to do the price action thing as a trader, go ahead, do it. Buy into it, you know, hold it and sell it, whatever price you think it's going to go to. In my opinion, this type of trading thing, I've done it before. It's not good for me. You know, my psyche, my whatever. I'm more of a long-term investing. And, you know, yes, I do sell call option, buy call options in names that I know, you know, that I feel comfortable investing in. And that's the whole point of me doing this, right? To learn about every aspect of the market so that I'm not just long-term investing, just option seller, just option buyer, right? Again, you could pick and choose to do whatever you want in the market. You could make money in any direction. Let me see. You don't have to be a pro member to get the credit card. Oh, great. Yes, that's such a good deal. You know, I think again they're building a brand here. You know, brand loyalty. Okay, let me go back to this guy. Sorry, I didn't finish the thought here. Okay, let's look at this again, because again people miss you know the point of the market here, or at least the capitalism. I can't even say capitalism of things. And again, like capitalist, you don't have to be a ruthless one, right? The point of a business is to make people wealthy, okay, not to bankrupt people. And there are people out there who are seeking to bankrupt the company from within. So learn about that too. So Ryan Cohen is trying to build a brand that will make people wealthy into this company. Okay? I think that's his legacy. I could be wrong, but he hadn't demonstrated anything to me that tells me otherwise, right? If he starts to do stupid shit like Adam Aaron, okay, then I'll be reevaluating my company, the direction in which I'm gonna, you know, take this company, right? And so he's been doing the right thing for 3 years now, right? Now, when I said he, I'm talking about the whole leadership here. But anyway, so let me finish this real quick.
Profit margin, that's actually a very good thing for the overall company. Now, obviously it's a good thing for the overall company, but why? It's because when the company actually reports earnings, the profit margin, say, you know, for Amazon, it's like 3.5% profit margin. So if it goes from 3.5% to 3.6%, that 0.1 change, I promise you, is worth tens of percentages, right? So that stock will go up 10, 20, 30% potentially if they can just change the profit margin. Because when profit margin changes today, investors understand that that is going to be different for the forever future. This company has found some efficiency in the market. Okay, those little things that are super specific, nobody talks about on YouTube. Everyone's talking about the innovation and why the stock's gonna go up and the latest news. That type of stuff actually doesn't matter. The type of news that comes out that's live, it's already perceived by everyone else. You're not the first one to get this news. everyone has this news and the stock market adjusts really quickly to that news. That's because the stock market is an expectations game. Whatever is expected in the market, if there's a surprise, that's when the stock moves. Now, there is a paradigm to invest.
So I thought this girl was working out like crazy, but she wasn't. I met her yesterday at the gym, and I asked her, "How do you look so great?"
Hate this ad. Hate it.
Which is you need to spot new trends early, but most of the time those trends are smaller cap companies. Although I'm an advocate for going after large companies that are not growing as fast. So how do you balance this paradigm? Well, this paradigm exists in all areas of life. You need to mix around your decision making. Okay, so I have actually a decision making degree. I have a business analytics, data analytics degree. So in terms of mixing around your strategy, what you need to do is, for example, in option trading, I personally prefer a little bit of poor man's covered calls, 5 to 10% in poor man's covered calls on big cap stocks. That's because, for example, big cap companies are very stable and growing, but they're not going to grow that much. That's why I would use a smaller, more leveraged strategy like the poor man's covered call to invest in stable technology companies. That way, when they do go up, let's say 10% in a given year, which is what the stock market typically does, I can actually benefit 20 or 30% because I'm using a leveraged option strategy that is safe. Now, I'm going to contradict myself because I said I don't like hype. But the fact of the matter is, some hype is okay, but you have to properly allocate how much money you want to put in to hype stocks. And that's because hype stocks are, in a way, very high growth and they do have really huge potential. That's why they're so interesting to you guys and all investors, including myself. And that actually is very interesting because in finance school, I was learning about private equity. What private equity companies do is they give money, for example, like angel investors in Silicon Valley. They will take $1 million and they will give it to 100 different people. So they have $100 million and they give it to 100 people. Now, out of 100 people, to be honest, 95% of those people are probably going to completely lose money. They're not going to succeed. 4 out of those 100 people may make a small return. That company may turn into something, and then 1 out of 100 people maybe will become the next Airbnb or the next Uber. And that investment will go from $1 million to like $400-500 million. So they can 5x their money just by finding one huge winner. And that's why it is interesting to invest in hype stocks. However, you need to properly allocate to hype stocks, for example, 2 or 3%. Like seriously, one of the best pieces of advice is you should have a majority of your money in very safe companies that you're just riding for the long term because you're going to be investing for 10, 20, 30 years. So you want to have most of your money in safe companies. However, you want to have a portion of your money in riskier companies as well because that's what makes life spicy. That's like the flavoring of life or investing. You want to have some risk because maybe that small risk can turn into an outsized big return, which will make you very happy, keep you interested. And overall, it can be good for your portfolio. And also, I just know that most people can't do the boring stuff, which is just have a portfolio that's full of Apple, Google, Microsoft, and other like really big S&P 500 companies selling covered calls for income, just like I do. You want to have some excitement. That's totally okay. I think you can have some smaller cap stocks. However, each one, again, has to be a small portion of the portfolio. And that does depend on the person. Some people, they can have 3 to 5%. And other people, because you have a longer time horizon, okay? If you have longer time horizon, you can have even 10% of your money in riskier strategies. Now,
there you go. But anyway, so I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but yeah, I've shown this particular video before. I think there's so much value, that comes out of that video. What I want to emphasize is the profit margin aspect of it. So that's why I play that one again. And also the small things that the company is doing right now that people are not talking about, which is this credit card thing, which is the pro membership thing, which is the, everything they can to build that brand that people will trust in the future. That might be taking a long time. Like, again, this is a slow turning company here that, and again, also too, it has so many flavors to this company. This is why I invest in this company originally. It's a company that people would want to talk about in a few years time, right? When it's gonna do what it needs to do, slow turnings and all that stuff. And there will be naysayers. There will be people who want to trash it. The same way how people still trash talking bad about Tesla right now. You know, it's going to be a controversial stock to talk about in the future. And you're going to be continuing to talk about it decades on end from now on, because this company's not going to go anywhere. So you think it's going to go bankrupt? Okay. Good luck. Bet on it. You know, short it. Go ahead. Add more to your short position and see what happens. You know, you have a fan base here. You know, not only the stock investor, but also a company that they want to survive. You know, I'm going to continue to shop at GameStop from now on, right? Now that I'm investing in it, obviously I am biased in that sense. And now that I have this value added thing, I love this. I love the fact that you get 4% cash back, which is more than I got in my own credit card. And so why wouldn't I, you know, choose this card to shop at GameStop, right? And so in my opinion, that's value. You know, might get cheaper stuff, and of course their discount deal going on. That's on top of that too. So, and what I found too is that, you know, when GameStop give you a discount, it's actually a discount. Like if you were to, you know, look up any of the items here. I think I talked about that before. Those are the things that people don't really talk about. What the company is doing right? They always, you know, give you a hyperbole of, oh, this is a trash company, right? The term in which it's like, if you don't stop and think about it, it makes you actually feel like stupid for saying that, right? It's like, really? You invest in trash company? It's like, did you ever see a man who turned trash into a treasure before? Right? I mean, one man trash is another man treasure here, okay? And so, you know, there are people who are that talented, and I think Ryan Cohen is that talented. You know, leadership. Whoever's leadership in the leadership position is very, very talented to do that. And they just did it. They did it, and you just didn't know it quite yet, right? But people, again, the sentiment is so negative about this company, and the fact that the economy is not doing well because of the 99-cent store retail apocalypse, right? That sentiment's going to drive the price down because people just can't separate the two, right? And not many people know about this company doing well. If you walk out the street right now and ask anyone about GameStop, it's like, oh, I thought they go bankrupt, right? Again, they're not aware of it. And I know people think that, oh, this is a, you know, millions of people were into it, but it was not millions. I bet you anything, it's probably like a couple 100,000 people, which is evidence in the DRS, right? DRS number is only just under 200,000 people are actually, you know, kind of following this company. Now, again, this is just a number that I can't prove. That's why I go with that number. Of course, I speculate to be more than that, but that's just my speculation, okay? And also, too, I speculate that not everyone who invests in GME or have GME in their portfolio are DRS, right? And so that's another, you know, added numbers. I'm willing to say half of them are not DRS, right? So if it's half, then it's like 300,000 people that are actually avid investor of this company who, you know, see the price and they're like, oh, really? Price is $11 right now? All right, you know, and there are people who are watching, like Manuel right now, are watching to see if it's single digit. So people are going to jump into this company, you know, en masse, right? Because they expect it to be $9. They expect it to $8. And if it ever dropped to $4, oh my goodness, this is where Ryan Cohen got in, around here. $3 to $4. How do I know? There's a letter to everyone. You could go and look for it yourself. I think it's like November 16, I think. That's when he wrote the letter to the public. I mean, to the board of directors publicly. Saying that he bought 10% of this company and was about to, so if you want to kind of lower there. So this is where he bought in, and he bought in like more. If you look at the filing, you'll see it. I'll let you do that yourself so that you see the history of this company. I'm not going to show you because, like, if you're interested enough, then go ahead, do your thing, you know. But if you want to see that his buy order, and people are like, oh, his cost average is so low, so that's why you're not, you know. It's like, well, how many companies out there that you're able to buy, what is it right now, 5 times the CEO position of any company? CEO usually have a freaking zero. They don't even have to buy their own shares. And this guy used his own money to buy into the company. Like, really? Are you? But anyway, which company out there that you get a share that has 5 times the CEO, you know, at this level? I bet you anything you can. Like, good luck try to buy at a 5 times the level of Jeff Bezos. Like, come on. You can't, right? And so this is why I think I'm early into this company, much earlier than I thought I would be. I thought, again, this quarter would have been doing something amazing, but hey, they are doing something amazing. But here's another thing that I wanted to kind of highlight as well. You see the estimate reported, the estimate, right? Now, I'm of the opinion, because, like, again, last year, they were miserably wrong about this company. They were expecting GameStop to lose 13 cents, okay? They come out ahead 16 cents, right? So, if the analysts out there is so good at what they're doing, why 1 year later you go the opposite direction to 30 cents? Do you see the difference of analysis here? It's like, to me, I feel like they overinflated their expectation on purpose. It's like the bar is so high for GameStop to beat that they can't beat the expectation, right? But even with that bar, we did kind of clear it, right? If you think about it, you know, from the estimate of next year. Now, if it's along the line of what the estimation is, right, it should be coming around maybe 10 cents a share, right? If you're kind of like expecting, you know, the expectation analysis based on the trend and all that stuff, right? But if you do the dot plot, right, the expectation is parabolic. It's ridiculous. I think I saw, hold on, let me see if I could find it. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Hold on. Let's see. You know what? Let me play while I look for this. So let's look at this one real quick. I know everybody knows the news already, but
the bargain is gone. For others, it can now be a struggle to find affordable basic items, and in some cases, even groceries. All 99 cents only stores are closing. It's a chain many neighborhoods depend on. NBC4's Gordon Tokomatsu reports on the impact.
As 99-cent only stores from California to Texas prepare for their final curtain,
I didn't believe it.
longtime customers in communities that rely on them the most, do you think the era of the 99-cent store has gone away?
I hope not.
Are preparing for the inevitable.
In a normal place, this is around 40 bucks.
Mario Guzman showed us the stew pot he picked up for $25. He says in all the years he's been coming here, he's likely saved thousands.
It's a real good quality produce.
So are you going to spend more money next time you have a Christmas dinner?
Definitely.
How would you define the need here in Panorama City?
That needs to stay. That's how I would define it.
Rosalind Reed felt so strongly about the chain's business model that she bought stock in 99-cent back in the 1980s. She says communities like this one, where family budgets have been stretched by inflation, the loss of a reliable bargain source is felt most by those who need it.
It fulfills a definite need for people who cannot afford to go spend those ridiculous prices at the grocery store.
And it's not just 99-cent's 14,000 employees who will feel the pinch. It's also small business owners like Jorge Figueroa, who've relied on a steady stream of 99-cent only customers for their incomes.
This is the place I came to sell my plants, and that's what I do for a living.
The store here on Woodman Avenue is surrounded by small vendors like Jorge, today trying to figure out where they'll go next. 99-cent only issued a statement Thursday, citing various reasons for the closures, ranging from the pandemic to changing consumer demand to shoplifting. But for customers now clamoring for closeout bargains, it means saving money just got a little bit harder.
Oh, it's so sad to, not only for me, for everybody.
One man told us he's glad there are other bargain options out there like Dollar King, Dollar Tree, and Dollar General, but they just don't have quite as many stores as this one did. In Panorama City, Gordon Tokumatsu, NBC4 News.
Okay, I don't see it here.
The discount chain 99-cents only stores announced it is shutting down all of its locations, citing rising costs and theft. Employees and shoppers at a local location say that they are left in a tight spot. Fox 5's Mike Allen brings us the reaction.
Yeah, all 371 of the 99-cents only stores in California, Texas, Arizona, and here in Nevada are closing down. And for employees and shoppers here at this location on Charleston and Maryland, that came as a big surprise.
I actually found out through email.
Tanika Rosario, who's been working at the 99-cent store on Maryland and Charleston for a year now, says she was taken aback by the sudden announcement that her location was closing.
It's hurtful because we're a family here.
Rosario thought it was only this location closing down and that she'd be able to keep her job at another location in the valley, but the single mom soon learned that was not the case and was also disappointed to hear the lack of a package for laid-off employees.
We'll get some kind of stipend just to hold us over until we can find something new. And then today we were told something different.
She calls the sudden announcement a slap in the face for not just her and her coworkers.
We have a great group here. We do. I can't, hands down, best people I've ever worked with.
But the shoppers she's befriended as well.
All our customers know us by face, by name, by everything.
By name,
he's like,
people's right here. Hey, my baby.
Don't worry, honey. We got you.
Many of those shoppers,
they fit more than a niche, they fit a need for most of the public.
Sharing the same sentiments as Rosario.
I'm distraught.
A lot of people are going to be hurting. They're going to be upset.
The company has not provided a timeline for when these stores are going to close or how many employees nationwide are going to lose their jobs. Reporting tonight from Charleston and Maryland, Mike Allen, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
And according to the chain's website, there are 17 99-cent store locations across Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and Henderson.
I'm trying to find an expectation.
Tonight, every 99-cent store.
I guess I can't find it. But anyway, my point is that the expectation is a lot higher than it should be if it goes along with, their expectation for a quarter already. And so their expectation growth parabolically, while the growth of the company, the actual growth is like trending up, in my opinion. But anyway, not opinion, but if you look at the plot, it will make sense to you. Sorry about that. So the 99-cent store, that store is going to be very heavy on retail sector, so just expect the price to come down even more. But as far as the company goes, it's doing well. So do you do you. I'm going to continue to follow what leadership is doing, right thing that they're doing. If you look at, the excitement of people who are actually, buying into the company, you understand, like, people knows what's going on, I mean, a lot of people are very enthusiastic about that. Robin Hood here, of course. White Rabbit, I think I saw him on my channel before. That's pretty cool. But yeah, he has a lot of position in this too. So I think this is the CEO or COO getting kicked out or resigned or whatever. This is pretty cool. I think some of you probably saw it already. So Larry Chain is the board of director, one of the board of director in GameStop, and he was the one who gave the seed money to Ryan Cohen for Chewy. And so there you go. Wait, is this the one that he talked? Ryan Cohen's and smart people. Let's take a listen to
going
this
back to PetSmart. So much.
So this one was back when CNBC, okay, this is notorious, was pumping Chewy to the public. IPO, okay? So this is what they do. The media out there, and they're notorious for doing this, okay? And you have to learn the playbook of these people. When Chewy was going public, okay, they pump it to the public saying that, but again, mind you, Chewy was not profitable at the time, right? But they push it to the public anyway because they want you to buy into their back, right? The institutions out there already position themselves to stand to benefit from the run of the price of Chewy. And if you look at the Chewy, back then, when they promoted it, again, mind you, Chewy was not profitable at the time. But they were putting Chewy in front of the screen to get you to buy, right? To get you to buy. And what happened to Chewy? Pump, dump. Okay, and now they're using Chewy against GameStop. Because it's related to Ryan Cohen. And again, look at this. You see this? This is an on-balance volume for the price of Chewy, historically. And it kind of follow, the dump and pump and dump and all that stuff. See, when it dump, on-balance volume goes down. That's indicative of people selling out of this stock. Natural movement of the stock. I encourage you to look at GME chart. If you see the same thing, it's anomaly, right? Now that anomaly, I don't know what it is. It could be crime, it could be non-crime. I don't know. I can't prove that. I just see the anomaly of every single stock except, every single stock. So far, you looked at AMC. AMC have some anomaly too, but again, we know that even if there's a good news, the catalyst is never gonna, ensue a quote-unquote squeeze for some reason. Because because Adam Aarons is not going to allow the squeeze to happen because he's part of the problem, right? But anyway, so that's the point. It's like they pump it to the public right here. Why? Because they want you to drive the price up, and when they're done with it, they dump it. Right? So this is what happened when you're buying into a company that has a lot of institutional ownership already. retail usually lose because retail buys here, institution dump. Okay? And this dump right here, I bet you anything, them taking profit right there. Institution, not retail. Retail usually buy up the top here. Right? So that's usually happened. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that Chewy is a terrible company at this moment in time, but it doesn't elicit the same growth story here, right? So that is why you see Larry Chain over here, or they put Larry Chain up to promote Chewy so that the public would buy it. Okay, so
sense, to be honest, but it only makes sense if your customers never leave. And that's the special sauce with Chewy, which you talked about early on.
55% of online sales, so that's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable, but what's the most unbelievable is the customers, what they spend in year 5 is the same as what they spend in year 1, and that level of loyalty is really exceptional.
Well, Larry, we had a conversation earlier just talking about how so much of this is going back to PetSmart, so much of the money that's raised in this IPO, I think something like $900 million of the $1.1 billion, which doesn't leave a lot to invest back in Chewy.com. Is that a concern?
Yeah, I think it is a concern because to keep pace with Amazon, you just got to own this market. And right now, it's probably a 50-50 battle between the two of them. So Chewy should continue to invest aggressively, continue to own this customer. And scale has always been their advantage in this category, so they can't slow it down. I would say they need to continue to keep the pedal to the metal and acquire aggressively.
So are they going to need to raise more capital to do that?
It's possible. I couldn't predict that.
So when PetSmart bought Chewy, I'm assuming Chewy started to run the overall online business. Now that Chewy is a separate company, does PetSmart.com have now compete against Chewy?
So when PetSmart acquired Chewy, Chewy remained independent, and it was run out of South Florida as it always had been. And PetSmart had really remained independent as a retailer. Going forward, I think